I remember the whole thing. It was life-changing. I was just hoping I was in shock because I couldn't move my legs. I remember my buddy at the time yelling, trying to say, "Hold on." When we got hit, I remember going over. It went black as the airbags came out. We rolled a couple times. We slid. I passed out again at that time, came to. My buddy was at the windshield trying to get my attention. I remember the other people arguing with him, but he really didn't care because he was more concerned about me. When the fire department got there, the lieutenant ended up coming in through the back, coming in there, staying in there because I got wedged in a little bit. So he came in there to keep me calm, put the neck brace on me, put a towel over me, told me that they were getting the jaws of life and that I was going to hear a lot of banging and noises. And then as they were taking me out, I was just hoping I was in shock because I couldn't move my legs. And I thought I was moving my arms. I guess I wasn't. All I was thinking was, please, let me walk. For 2 years, we fought to get attorneys, and 2 years, attorneys saying that there was no case.
And he'd gone to several, actually very good attorneys who looked at his case, and none of them really saw any potential because there was very low limits. There was a $10,000 BI policy. And of course, Lewis had catastrophic damages. So he got turned away, by several attorneys beforehand, before he called us. When I met Lewis, I thought, there's no way I'm going to turn this guy down. So at the beginning, I probably saw what the other attorneys saw, a very, very challenging case, but he was such a remarkable, wonderful human being that I thought, I'm just going to sign him up, and we started to look at it.
And at that point, things started to change. He started getting somewhere, and he couldn't. He hit a brick wall. And I think it was almost a year that I had him. And he's like, look, I want to reach out to another attorney team. And that's when I came across Dale and Angela.
They're the kind of attorneys that good attorneys go to. We needed firepower, we needed expertise, and I considered a number of firms, but there was really only one choice.
Spinal cord injury clients are the most inspiring ones we have. I've thought a lot about that, and I figure that it might be because of the incredible injuries that they have and the hurdles that they have to overcome. Problems that seem to bother the rest of us mean nothing to these folks.
I remember Lewis, even among that class, Lewis is a special guy. He seems to have a limitless supply of positivity. The truth is that whenever we signed it up, it was a tough case. Fundamentally, the problem was that it's a car wreck with an intersection, and the person who was at fault was his friend driving. He had a $10,000 insurance policy, and a $10,000 policy, it doesn't pay for the ambulance. It takes you to the hospital in a case like this. And other lawyers, good lawyers, had looked at the case beforehand, had looked at some of the other obvious ideas, and they had determined that there was no case, and the fact is there probably wasn't. Fortunately, Marcus Viles recognized that that wasn't going to be enough, and he is one of the few lawyers in the state that say we've got to figure something out. Lewis is a special kid. What do you do in a case like this? I was like, what we do is we turn this over to Angela. Because if anybody is going to persist and push the limits and put pressure on every joint to see where the leaks come out, it's going to be Angela.
It wasn't just us that was inspired by Lewis. Everyone who meets him is inspired by Lewis. We were 90 days before trial. Clients get really discouraged when you get that close to trial, and because you're going to put your whole life on show to a jury.
And I was struck with one thing. I was struck with, number one, this guy's mother completely loved him. Kelly was there to defend him and protect him and to advocate for him and to inspire him to do more. And Lewis was, man, he was a great kid. Tonto's mom, she showed us this video she had made, and she says, I hope this isn't going to hurt the case, because it was a picture like of his progress, and it was like watching Rocky, like struggling up those stairs to the library or whatever that is in Philadelphia, and then making it to be where he is today. It was like that with him. And I said, okay, throw everything away. We're changing this. And when we got to that part of the mediation, I said, what you're going to see now is what this man has achieved.
There was kind of this aha moment where we had gone through all of this discovery and depositions, and we had documents on top of documents. We were analyzing people's files, and it just seemed to all come together.
We just genuinely had been looking at it the wrong way, and I don't know what made you think about it like that.
Sometimes you just get a different perspective. Again, I mean, when I tell you that I dig deep, and every time I am getting tired and Lewis saves me, it was one of those moments. It was just one of those moments where I had to look at something a different way after you look at it so many times.
She came in and, no, you said that to me, and I argued with you a minute or two, and you kept winning the arguments that we were having. I just started giggling, because this was so clean. This was so good. This was everything that was wrong about our case suddenly became everything that was right about our case. And it was like,
you do almost give up, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just...
No, thank goodness.
Sometimes you get tired, and they are hard. There's 4 defendants in the case, 4 different defense firms against us. So
Good ones.
It was not an easy path to victory.
Once that happens, once it connects, and all of a sudden you figure out how these puzzle pieces can fit together to form a cogent case, it's amazing.
When they said that they came back with what they did, me and my family were just... we cried. We cried. We were like little babies. To pull a tuna out of a pond, can't thank them enough. I mean, honestly.
I was so happy for Lewis because, you know, he's a young man. He has his entire life ahead of him. And had it gone the other way, I just would have been devastated because, you know, unfortunately our society doesn't take care of people the way that it should. So when I saw the settlement and the reward, you know, that he got, I thought, wow, you know, he's going to be okay. He's going to make it, and he's going to have a good life. And it was just the greatest feeling in the world to know that, you know, we had some small part of that. And I was, you know, so grateful and thankful and proud of Dale and Angela for, you know, for bringing it home.
And Marcus, he did what most lawyers wouldn't have done. He said, you know what, I'm going to take it and I'm going to try. And he did, and he put the case...
Probably also because Lewis was such a positive spirit.
He put the case into a position where he created a lot of these puzzle pieces that, you know, a year or 2 later we were able to put together into a winning case. So he did a great job building this case.
Their main concern was me. They were asking updates on me, seeing how I was doing. I'm not just a number, I was actually a person. What made me most excited was to be able to help my family. Being able to pull the burden out of them that they've been struggling with. That's what made me feel the best. Everything else to come is to come. And we're gonna live life how we have been. I'm just not gonna have to worry about buying the supplies that I need.
I would say that I'm most excited for him to see what his future holds. We talked so much about him going back to school and doing something in the IT field. He was fascinated by the PowerPoint and by some of the electronic discovery that we did in his case. Him and his mom would follow along the court file and called me and asked me what the things were that I was filing. So I'm excited to see what the future holds for Lewis and to see what his career path is.
Oh yeah, he's here to do something great.
No more saying no. No more hearing that I can't do something because I'm in a wheelchair or it can't be done. Because everything can be done. I want to get up again. I want to walk again. I know I can walk again. just to prove to the doctors and to the medical world that it's not impossible. Maybe I'll be the one to motivate someone to keep going.
Here was a young man that had suffered probably one of the worst imaginable injuries, and it's permanent, and yet his spirit, his enthusiasm, he'd come in and brighten up the whole place. He's got just a heart and a personality that it's hard to resist.
We've had many clients, great clients that we stay in contact with and we still love. I don't know if you've ever had a client quite like Tonto Donato, and I don't know if we ever will again, to tell you the truth.